Hello everyone. Today we will do another chapter of class 7 social studies, chapter number 5 of history, architecture as power, forts and sacred places. So first of all in the exercises there are fill in the blank. First one is South Indian temples were built in the dash style. So South Indian temples were built in Dravidian style. Next, Khajuraho temples were built by the Dash kings. Khajuraho temples were built by Chandela's king. Right? Next, Kailashnath temple at Dash is a rock cut temple. So Kailashnath temple at Ellora is a rock cut temple. Next, Vithala temple is a prominent temple built by a Dash king. So Vithala temple is a prominent temple which is built by Vijayanagar king. Next, among the 7 historical cities of Delhi, Dash is the only city built by the Mughals. So, Shahjahanabad was the only city built by Mughals. Next, Moti Masjid at Dash was built by Shah Jahan. So, Moti Masjid at Agra was built by Shah Jahan. Right? Next is true or false. First one is Brihadeshwar temple at Thanjavur was built by Rajendra Chola. So this one is false, as Brihadeshwar temple at Thanjavur was built by Raja Chola. Right? Now next is calligraphy is the art of ornate or beautiful writing. Yes, this is one is true, as calligraphy is the art of beautiful writing. Next, the construction of Qutub Minar was completed by Iltutmish. This one is also true. The construction of Qutub Minar was completed by Iltutmish. The construction was started by Qutubuddin Aibak, but he could not complete it, and thus Iltutmish completed the construction of Qutub Minar. Now next is Muhammad bin Tughlaq built Tughlaqabad. This is false, as Tughlaqabad was built by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Next, the architecture of the Bahmani king had Turkish influence. This one is also false. Next, the Moti Masjid in Delhi was built by Aurangzeb. This is true. Yes, Moti Masjid in Delhi was built by Aurangzeb. Next is answer in brief. First one is, what are the distinctive features of shikaras built in the Nagara style? For this answer, come to page number 50. So on page number 50, under the heading the temples of North India, third line, the answer will start from here. We will write the answer in points. First point is the shikara had a crowning element, the amalaka, a huge stone ribbed disc. This is first point. Second point will start from here. Above the amalaka was a smaller dome, the kalash or the water jug. This is second point. Third point will start from here. These together with the curving lines of shikara were the main characteristics of the Nagara style of architecture. So these are the 3 points of answer number 1. Now next question is, what are the main characteristics of the temples of central India? For this answer, come to page number 51. This answer number 2, first we will write from the question itself. The main characteristics of the temples of central India are as follows. Then on page number 51, second column, second line, here it has double amalaka, one larger and another small placed one over another. This is first point. Second point is the kalash is placed above the smaller amalaka. This is second point. And third point is here, the best known example of this type of architecture are the temples at Khajuraho. This is third point, right? So this is our answer number 2. Now question number 3 is, list the 7 historical cities of Delhi. So for this answer, come to page number 56. On page number 56, the 7 cities of Delhi are given. So it's here. First, the numbers are also given. First city is Lalkot. Second city is Siri. Third city is here Tughlaqabad. Fourth city is here Jahanpana. Fifth city is here Kotla Firoz Shah Kotla. Sixth city is here that is Purana Killa. And seventh city is here Shahjahanabad, right? So these are the 7 cities of Delhi. Question number 4 is name any 4 distinctive elements of Islamic architecture. So I'm dictating the answer, please note it down. First we have to write from the question itself. The 4 distinctive elements of Islamic architecture are A. Arches, B. Minars, C. Domes, and D. Calligraphy. I'm repeating. The 4 distinctive elements of Islamic architecture are arches, minars, domes, and calligraphy. Right? Now, question number 5 is mention the elements of Indian tradition and Islamic tradition that are found in the tomb of Iltutmish. For this answer, come to page number 55. Under the heading Sultanate period, second paragraphs, you have to mark this answer very carefully. First, you have to write from here the tomb of Iltutmish. After that, here we have to come on this slide. It's written the Radha plain, so we have to write here had a plain. Okay, so answer will read as the tomb of Iltutmish had a plain exterior. After exterior, write that. Had a plain exterior that conceals an interior with an interesting mix of Indian and Islamic design. Right? I'm repeating this again. The tomb of Iltutmish had a plain exterior that concealed an interior with an interesting mix of Indian and Islamic design. After this, the lotus and the wheel belong to the Indian tradition, and the intricate geometric patterns and calligraphy belong to Islamic, or being Islamic in nature. Right? So this is your answer number 5. Right? Number 6 is describe the salient features of the Red Fort in Delhi. For this answer, come to page number 60 of your books. On page number 60, we will write this answer in point. First point will start from here. The Red Fort in Delhi was a palace fortress. Second point, inside it were the palaces, the Diwani Am, the Diwani Khas, and the Rang Mahal. This is second point. Third point will start from here. In the Diwani Khas, the hall of private audience were beautifully carved marble screens, and the ceiling was covered with golden decorations. This is third point. Fourth point will start from here. The Rang Mahal, gracefully proportioned and airy, was equally well decorated. Fifth point will start from here. Several buildings within the Red Fort were destroyed during the British period. So this is fifth point. Right? So I am repeating all the 5 points. First point is the Red Fort in Delhi was a palace fortress. Second, inside it were the palaces, the Diwani Am, the Diwani Khas, and Rang Mahal. Third point, in the Diwani Khas, the hall of private audience were beautifully carved marble screens, and the ceiling was covered with golden decorations. Fourth point, the Rang Mahal, gracefully proportioned and airy, was equally well decorated. Fifth, several buildings within the Red Fort were destroyed during the British period. So this was your answer number 6. This is answered in detail, and first one is how and why was architecture used as a statement of power by the rulers of medieval India. For this answer, come to page number 49. We will write this answer in point, and on page number 49, first point will start from here. Many enduring monuments, palaces, forts, tombs, temples, and mosques were built by the rulers of the medieval India. This is first point. Second point will start from here. Architecture was used as a statement of power. Rulers probably felt that the bigger and grander the building, the richer and more powerful they would be considered. This is second point. Third point will start from here. They might also have felt the need to leave behind some enduring mark of their rule for future generations to see and wonder at. Right? So these are the 3 points of answer number 1. Question number 2 is distinguish with the help of sketches between the temples of North India and the temples of Central India. Give examples. Right? So here this answer will be a mix of answer number 1 in brief and answer number 2 in brief. Right? So first of all, let us come to page number 49. So on page number 49, first writes few points here in the empty space. Write the North or Nagara style of temples had some distinctive features. The North or Nagara style of temples had some distinctive features. First one will start from here. The Garbhagriha, the inner chamber where the idol was placed. After this, on next page. After that, the second point will start from here. Above the Garbhagriha, the Shikara. After this, we have to write from here, which we had written in answer number 1. The Shikara had a crowning element, the Amalaka, a huge stone ribbed disc. This is second point. Third point will be above the Amalaka was a smaller dome, the Kalash or the water jug. This is third point. This was second point of short answer, but this is third point of long answer. Now here, these together with the curving lines of Shikara were the main characteristics of the Nagara style of architecture. So this is fourth point, right? So this is the first part of answer number 2 long. For the second part of answer number 2, come to page number 51. And yes, for the first part of the answer, you need to draw this diagram. You need to draw this sketch or this diagram. As a question is asked, distinguish with the help of sketches. So you have to draw the sketch of this to show the Kalash, the Shikara, the Amalaka and so on, right? So for the second part of the answer on page number 51, the answer which we have written for answer in brief number 2, the same will be here, right? So we will write the main characteristics of temples of central India are, first point is here, the double Amalaka, one large and another small placed over one another. Second, the Kalash is placed above the smaller Amalaka. Third, the best known example of this type of architecture are the temples at Khajuraho. These are the 3 points, and for with this you have to draw the sketch of this temple, right? Now question number 3 is, what are the unique features of the South Indian Dravidian temples? For this answer, come to page number 52. So on page number 52, under the heading South Indian temples, we will write this answer in points, but before the points, first we will write this line. The temples of South India followed the Dravidian style of architecture. This is the main point. After this, first point will start from here. One of the characteristic feature of this style was the Viman, which was a highly pyramidal tower with several stories of diminishing size built over the Garbhagriha. This is first point. Second point will start from here. South Indian temples also had gateways or gopurams topped by the Kalash. This is second point. Third point will start from here. There were usually 2 or 4 entrances on the temple, one at each cardinal direction. Some of the gopurams were tall and elaborately sculpted. These are the 3 points of answer number 3. Question number 4 is, write a paragraph describing the important monuments built by the Delhi Sultans. For this answer, come to page number 55. Again, we will write this answer in points. So just mark it very carefully. First point will start from here. Qutbuddin Aibak, in a short rule of 4 years, built the Kuwait-ul-Islam Mosque in Delhi and Dhai Din Ka Jhopra in Ajmer. Aibak started the Qutub Minar, but Iltutmish completed it. This is first point. Second, during the same point, we have to write Iltutmish and later Alauddin Khilji made many additions to the Kuwait-ul-Islam complex. So till here it was first point. Second point will start from here. To the west of mosque is the tomb of Iltutmish, which was built by Iltutmish himself in 1235 CE. This is second point. Now the third point is on the second column. Third point is from here. Second column here. Alauddin Khilji, after that, after Alauddin Khilji, we have to write built Alai Darwaza and Alai Minar near Qutub Minar. The Alai Darwaza is a magnificent gateway to the Kuwait-ul-Islam Mosque. So this is third point till mosque. Then fourth point will start from here. Here, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq built the great fortress of Tughlaqabad, the third city of Delhi. He also built a tomb for himself on an island in the artificial lake here. Right? So this is 4 points. So these are the 4 points of answer number 4 long. Now question number 5 is write a summary on the monuments built by Akbar. For this answer come to page number 57. So on page number 57 we have to write from here. First of all we will write this: Akbar during his tenure added many buildings to the Mughal legacy. Then first point will start from here. He built fortresses at Agra, Lahore and Allahabad. All were made of red sandstone with marble inlay work. So this is first point. Second point will start from here. The use of red sandstone became the signature style of Akbar's architecture. This is second point. Third point is will start from here. Akbar's main achievement, however, was the construction of the Fatehpur Sikri, his new capital near Agra. Right. After this, on next page, we have to write the fourth point. Here, the Buland Darwaza, a massive gateway to the Jama Masjid, dominates Fatehpur Sikri. It was built to celebrate Akbar's victory over the Deccan. Right? So these are the 4 points of answer number 5 long, answer in detail. Okay. Now question number 6 is justify the fact that the Taj Mahal is one of the wonders of the world. For this answer come to page number 59. For answer number 6 come to page number 59 under the heading Taj Mahal. We will write this answer in points. The first point is the Taj Mahal represents all that is beautiful, delicate and symmetrical against the perfect backdrop of the river Yamuna. Second point will start from here. It is red, made of glistering. So right, it is made of glistening white marble. It took 22 years to build. After this, third point will start from here. The overall design is more Persian than Indian. This is third point. Fourth point will start from here. The whole structure is square in shape, placed on a high platform. Fourth point. Fifth point will start from here. The central dome is bulbous. At 4 corners of the dome are small kiosks. These are believed to reflect an Indian influence. This is fifth point. Sixth point will start from here. On the 4 corners of the platform, slim minarets are placed in striking contrast to the massive central dome. This is 6th point. 7th point is from here, the chamber. It's written the chamber. So you have to write inside the Taj, comma, the chamber is lit by sunlight filtering in through marble trellis work screen. Right. So these are the 7 points of answer number 6 long. Now question number 7 is explain why Shah Jahan is considered an outstanding builder. For this answer again come to page number 59. On page number 59 the answer will start from here. Mughal architecture reached its peak during the reign of Shah Jahan. So this is the common point. Then the first point will start from here. Shah Jahan building were here. Shah Jahan, then cut the word his and we'll write Shah Jahan building were delicate, elegant and graceful. After this next point is the buildings showed, cut the word they and write the building showed less influence of the Indian style than earlier times. This is second point. Third point will start from here. Shah Jahan replaced red sandstone, a favorite of Akbar and Jahangir, with fine white marble. This is third point. Fourth point will start from here. He also used extravagant and costly decoration. This is fourth point. Fifth point will start from here. A distinctive feature was a kind of fine inlay work known as Persian curry or Petra Dura, in which semi-precious stones like lapis lazuli, topaz and onyx were embedded in the marble. So this is fifth point. Sixth point will start from here. Shah Jahan built the Agra fort, the Taj Mahal and the Moti Masjid in Agra. So this is 6 points. So these are the 6 points of answer number 7, that is answer in long, answer in detail. Okay. So we are done with answer in detail, and next are multiple choice question. First one is, why did the rulers of medieval India build massive temples, forts and mosques? And they are saying that there could be more than one correct option, and the options are: the architect of the time were unable to build small structures. B point, the rulers seemed to feel that the bigger and grander their architecture, the richer and more powerful they would be considered by others. C point, the rulers were very wealthy and wanted to spend their money in this way. And D point, the rulers might have wanted to leave behind something enduring for future generations to remember them by. So as they are saying that there can be more than one correct option, and we also feel that here there are two correct options, that is B1 and D1. B says that the rulers seem to feel that the bigger and grander their architecture, the richer and more powerful they would be considered by other. And the option says the rulers might have wanted to leave behind something enduring for future generations to remember them by. Right? Now the second one is, the distinguishing features of the Nagara style of architecture were: a square garbhagriha with a towering gopam. Option says a square garbhagriha, the shikara topped by the amalaka and the kalash. C point, a square garbhagriha, the shikara topped by a double amalaka and the kalash, or a square garbhagriha topped by a high and pyramidal viman. So the distinguishing feature of Nagara style of architecture was a square garbhagriha, the shikara topped by the amalaka and the kalash. Right? Now third one is, which of these temples is an example of the Deccani style of architecture? The Kandariya Mahadev temple, the Khajuraho, the Brihadeshwar temple, Thanjavur, the Drivasamudra temple, Helbid, or the Vithala temple, Hampi. So here correct option is C. Right? Fourth one is, an example of the rock cut architecture is, options are the Shore temple, Mamalapuram, the Kailashnath temple, Kanchipuram, the Brihadeshwar temple, Thanjavur, or the Rathas at Mamalapuram. So here the example of rock cut architecture is the Rathas as Mamalapuram. So here correct option is D. Fifth one is, in a mosque, the pulpit from where the imam or the priest conduct prayer is called, options: the mimbar, the mihrab, the minar, the livan. So here correct option is A, the mimbar. Sixth one is, the Alai Darwaza near the Qutub Minar was built by, options are Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, or Alauddin Khalji. So it was Alauddin Khalji. Seventh one is, an example of provincial architecture in medieval India is the Dakhil Darwaza Gaur, the Gol Gumbaz Bijapur, the Mandu Fort Malwa, or all of the above. So all of the above are the example of provincial architecture in medieval India. Eighth one is, Humayun's tomb was built by his son Akbar, Humayun himself, his widow, or none of the above. So Humayun's tomb was built by his widow. Right? So correct option is C. Ninth one, the distinguishing feature of Akbar's architecture was: first, the use of red sandstone with marble inlay work. B, the extensive use of white marble. C, the use of Petra-Dura or Persian curry. D, that is showed the influence of Persian style of architecture. So here the correct option is A, the use of red sandstone with marble inlay work. Right? 10th one is, calligraphy is, options are art of inlay work in marble, art of beautiful writing, art of miniature painting, or the art of drawing geometric designs in floral patterns. So calligraphy is the art of beautiful writing. So the correct option is B. 11th, the seventh city of Delhi was, option Tulakabad, Jahanapana, Purana Killa, or Shahjahanabad. So the seventh city of Delhi was Shahjahanabad. So your correct option is D. So on this note, we have completed chapter number 5, Architecture as Power, Forts and Sacred Palaces. Dear children, do complete the chapter and inform me under the comments.